Welcome to our weekly discussion of all things current in California politics. I'm Walt Gray. Joining us this week, we welcome back Emily Hoeven, a political expert for CalMatters.org. Emily, extremely busy week. The $300 billion budget was revealed. What are some of the interesting things in that budget?
First is the centerpiece, which is the rebates for Californians. And they finally settled on a deal that would basically give Californians making under a certain income limit between $200 and $1,050, depending on their income level and the size of their family. Another interesting component of the budget is this very controversial energy trailer bill, which is sort of attached to the budget in this separate bill. And basically, it would allow California to prolong the life of some very controversial gas-powered plants, potentially allow PG&E to extend the lifespan of the Diablo Canyon nuclear power plant, and also give a ton of new authority to a state department to basically create and build and site these clean energy plants. And this is all part of California's plan to try to avoid rolling blackouts this summer and in future summers as climate change continues and as the grid, continues to be under a lot of strain.
Yeah, there's a lot there in terms of the budget. And then coming up on the ballot in November, there are going to be some things people are going to have to consider of note, right?
There are a whole lot of thorny issues that are going to be on there. The first one is going to be whether California should enshrine the right to abortion and contraception in its constitution. There are also measures on there related to environmental justice. There is a measure funded by Lyft that would basically tax millionaires to fund electric vehicle charging infrastructure and build more charging stations throughout the state. There's going to be two really big and contentious sports betting measures, one of them backed by large companies like DraftKings and FanDuel to allow online sports betting. And then there's one backed by Native American tribes that would allow in-person sports betting at the tribal casinos. So those are just some of the many ones that we're going to be voting on.
Yeah, there's a lot to be considered, a lot of homework to do prior to November. We just had kind of a security leak of people who had applied for or have the concealed carry permit. But California is looking to, separate from that, looking to make some changes, correct?
Lawmakers have been advancing this bill that would simultaneously comply with the U.S. Supreme Court ruling and sort of make a more uniform statewide system for approving these permits to carry a concealed firearm. Because right now there's a lot of differentiation between more conservative and more liberal counties. But it would also sort of put more requirements in that statewide requirement. And so there's bound to be a whole lot of lawsuits about that. And then, as you said, when the state was announcing these proposals, the Attorney General Rob Bonta published a database of the current concealed carry permit holders in California, but it unintentionally revealed their names, their home addresses for the past decade.
Yeah, there's a lot of discussion about that one, too. Emily, thank you as always. CalMatters, a nonpartisan news organization explaining California policies and politics. Find their work at CalMatters.org. You can also sign up for Emily's newsletter there.